Hello, are you ready to learn for today? All about problems involving quadratic inequality. Let's already discuss the different steps in solving problems involving quadratic inequality. So, in solving problems involving quadratic inequality, you may use the following procedure. Let's start with number one, read and analyze the problem carefully. Number two, once you understand the problem already, you can represent the unknown using algebraic expressions, or we can term it as the representation. Now, once you're done with that, you can formulate the mathematical sentence. This will serve as your working quadratic inequality. Next, you can use the quadratic equation of the given inequality to find the critical points. Number five, after you have your critical points, you can create the number line to represent the regions of possible range of solutions. And lastly, we have to find the solution set using the region that satisfy the quadratic inequality using any method that is discussed on our previous lesson. And this will serve as your final answer. And for us to better understand how do we use these following steps in solving problems involving quadratic inequality, I think mas maintindihan natin siya if we start with the example. But before that, ayan. So, take note of this following words. Ito yung mga nasa babang mga set of words na yan are the possible words that you can be seen on a given problem. So, let's start with our example number one. An object is launched from ground level directly upward at a rate of 144 feet per second. The equation for the object's height is y is equal to negative 16x squared plus 144x, where x is the time the object is at flight in seconds, and y is the height of the ball in feet. What values of x is the object at or above the height of 288 feet? How long is the object at or above this height? Ayan, so para mas madali natin siyang maintindihan, let's have the following representation. Yan naman yung importance ng diagram natin at representation para mas mapakita natin kung paano natin naintindihan itong problem. So at first, sinabi dyan sa problem natin na yung x is the time or it represents the time in seconds. So syempre kapag pag nilaunch yung ating object, yan, magkakaroon siya ng time bago siya bumagsak. So, ilang segundo yun. Madidetermine to using the variable x. And y represents the height of the object in terms of a given time. So, kaya nga kung makikita nyo dito, ang equation natin will be y is equal to negative 16x squared plus 144x. Ibig sabihin, pag nag-substitute tayo ng value dun sa x, makukuha natin yung height nun. At yung x na yan, once again, di ba, nire-represent yan is yung time in seconds. So, kunyari, naglagay ka dyan, 0, 0. Pag nilagay mo dyan, value ng x ay 0, syempre, ang height natin, 0. Hindi ka pa nga nagla-launch, 0 second pa lang eh. Di ba? Nasa baba pa siya. So, yun yung isang example na pwede nating i-substitute pagdating sa value ng x. 0 second, magiging height natin is 0 feet din. Ang kailangan mo lang dyan naman is yung mismong equation wherein the height of the object being launched will be represented by y is equal to negative 16x squared plus 144x. Now, for us to visualize what is happening on this given problem, ito na nga siya. So, ito yung ating diagram. Imagine niyo itong part na to. Dito yan, yung object natin being launched is at 0 second. Time of launch natin. Una, syempre, bago mo siya, isiset natin yung pag-launch mo pa lang ng object or pagbato mo pa lang ng object as 0. Now, kapag binato mo yan, syempre, it will have a travel time at the same time, a pathway, yung dinadaanan niya sa ganitong direction. Yan, kung mapapansin ninyo, merong iba't ibang bilog dyan. That represents the direction of the object. So, siguro bola yan, kaya ginawang bilog na lang. So, any object is represented by this circle. Or siguro bola, mas madaling imagine na bola yung binato. So, parang sa basketball, di ba, ganyan naman yung itsura nung pathway nung ating magiging bola. Kunyari, ito yung ring natin. Anyway, ang tanong dito is, for example, it says here, at or above the height of 288 feet. Yan. So, how do we interpret that term or that phrase? So, based on the problem, we can interpret it at or above as greater than or equal to 288 feet. So, dapat daw yung ating object should be greater than or equal to 288 feet so that it will be the same thing as at or above the height of 288 feet. So since y is represented by the height of the object, we termed it as y is greater than or equal to 288 feet. Now ano yan? Ano yan? Paano natin yan ini-interpret dun sa ating problem or sa ating diagram? So kung itong height na to, kung nakikita nyo yung kulay yellow na naging boundary, so kung yung height na yan represents 288 feet, yan. So, ang question ng ating problem, so dito sa part na to, ano yung oras or ano yung range ng seconds wherein nandyan siya sa part na yan na kung saan yung object natin na binato ay nasa taas, ay nandun sa taas ng ating 288 feet or exactly nandun sa ating 288 feet. So, yan yung isosolve natin. For us to solve this one, we already have the representation and also the diagram. Ayan. Let's somehow start with creating our quadratic inequality. Now, based on our representation a while ago, yan, binigay sa ating problem, ito nga ang ating equation na y is equal to negative 16x squared plus 144x. Ginagamit natin yan para makompute kung ano yung height ng ating object on a certain time. So, yung time na tinutukoy natin na yon ay yung variable x. And also, based on the problem, on the term wherein the height of the, the height of the object should be at or above 288 feet, we interpret this one as y is greater than or equal to 288. Ayan, gets po? Kinuha ko lang yung nirepresent natin kanina. So, yan yung ginamit natin na term, at or above. Kaya siya naging greater than or equal. Now, so, at the object is at or above 288 feet. Now, pinalitan ko lang naman itong y netong negative 16x squared plus 144x. So, this is also the same thing as y is greater than or equal to 288. Sinubstitute lang natin siya. Because here, our goal is to have a quadratic inequality. So, yan. Hopefully, naintindihan niyo siya. Ayusin ko lang yung itsura niya para magmukha siyang standard form. So I will subtract or I will add a negative 288 on both sides. This will make this inequality or this part be equal to 0 because 288 plus negative 288 will become 0. And then, on the left side of the inequality, that will now become negative 16x squared plus 144x minus 288 is greater than or equal to 0. Now, as you can see here, this is a quadratic inequality already. Although, pwede pa nating ayusin yung itsura na to. Kasi kung isosolve natin siya, kasi di ba one of our steps in getting the critical points is actually making it as an equation. At gagamit tayo dyan ng either factoring o kaya quadratic formula. At kung titignan mo to, kapag ginawa ko yung equation mamaya, parang malaki yung mga coefficients natin. Masyadong malaki yung 144, 288, lalo na kung gagamit ka ng quadratic formula. Malaki yung i-square mo at the same time, imumultiply mo. So, ang pwede natin gawin dyan is to somehow simplify the given equation by dividing it to its GCF. So, scratch muna ako dito sa baba. Kuhain ko yung GCF ng mga coefficients natin. Pag sinabi natin coefficients, ito yung mga number or mga constant dun sa ating given equation. So, that's gonna be 16, 144, and 288. For the meantime, pwede nyo muna siyang gawing positive. So, ang isa sa mga technique na ginagawa natin nung elementary sa pagkuha ng GCF, lalo na kapag malaki-laki yung mga numbers, is actually continuous division. So, ito. Hindi ko alam kung naalala nyo pa yan, yung ganitong process. Ano? We will be thinking of a number wherein we can divide 16, 144, and 288 at the same time. So, common number or common factor nila yung hinahanap natin. Ngayon, kung nahihirapan ka mag-isip ng malaki-laking number, pwede ka naman mag-start kay 2 kasi as you can see, all of the numbers are divisible by 2 because all of them are even numbers. We can divide 16 divided by 2, that's gonna be equal to 8. 144 divided by 2, that's gonna be equal to 72. And 288 divided by 2 is gonna be equal to 144. Now, those will be the quotients if we divide them all by 2. But as you can see, pwede pa tayo mag-divide. Kaya nga ang tawag natin dito, di ba, is continuous division. Pwede natin sila i-divide ulit by 2. At ito yung magiging sagot nila. Ayan, 8 divided by 2 magiging 4. 72 wait lang, 72 divided by 2 magiging 36. 144 divided by 2 magiging 72. Now, alam ko na sa isip mo, sir, pwede pa i-divide ng 2. Nagsawa ka na, puro 2. Kung mapansin mo naman, si 4, si 36, tsaka si 72, pwede naman niyang i-divide lahat kay 4. Pwede mong taasan. Pero kung na 2, pwede pa rin naman. Ayan. So, as you can see, if we divide all of them by 4, you will end up having 4 divided by 4 will be equal to 1. 36 divided by 4 will be equal to 9. And 72 divided by 4 will be equal to 18. And that is the time wherein you will stop dividing them with a common factor. Because as you can see, between 1, 9, and 18, ang common factor na lang naman nila ay 1. So, hindi naman na sila magbabago ng value pag dinivide mo ng 1. Parehas lang yan. So, kapag ka 1 na lang naman yung common factor nila, doon ka nahihinto. And lahat ng values na nakikita nyo dito sa gilid, imumultiply mo lang yan to get the GCF. So, our GCF is equal to 16. Greatest common factor is 16. Sir, anong sense ng 16 na yan? We can divide all of the given, ayan, we can divide all of the given terms to 16. Yan ang pwede natin gawin para mas-simplify natin or mas mapaliit natin yung mga coefficients nila. Pero at the same time, di ba, gusto mo rin maging positive yung katabi nito ni x squared instead of a negative 16. So, pwede mo naman siya i-divide lahat by negative 16. That will make your coefficient of x squared to positive. Ayan. So, paano ba yung proseso na yan? So, ganito, i-divide natin lahat sila by negative 16. Siyempre, kasama yung 0 sa kabila. Gets po? And if we do that, this will now be our quadratic inequality. Tignan nyo yung mga pagbabago na nangyari. Negative 16 divided by negative 16 will become positive 1. 1 yan. Ito nga yung maganda eh. Lalo na pag nag-scratch ka, ito makikita mo yung quotient ng dalawa is gonna be the number below na nakuha mo. So 1 siya. And then, positive 144 divided by negative 16, that's gonna be negative 9. So, nagbago na yung sign niya from positive, dahil nga dinivide mo sa negative, naging negative 9 na siya. Ito lang din yan. O, di ba? May clue ka na kung gumamit ka ng continuous division. Anyway, negative 288 divided by negative 16, that's gonna be equal to negative divided by negative is positive. Therefore, we have positive 18. So, as you can see here, ito lang din yon 18. Diba? Now, another thing that you should have noticed on this part is that the inequality also change. Kapag ka nagdi-divide ka, anyway, 0 divided by negative 16 will still be equal to 0. But ito yung isa sa mga titignan nyo, class. Tignan nyo to. This is greater than. Based on our problem, that's greater than or equal. But since you divide the entire given quadratic inequality to a negative number, your inequality symbol will also change. Instead of greater than or equal, that will now become less than or equal. Gets po ba? Ayan. So, ang nakalagay nga dito sa aking solution, don't forget this. Magbabago ang inequality kapag dinivide mo siya buo sa isang negative number. But anyway, after that, magiging madali na yung buhay natin. Kasi lalo na kung na-master mo na yung pag-solve ng quadratic inequality, you can already get the critical points. So how do we identify the critical points? First, you have to make your given quadratic inequality into an equation. Once it is an equation already, you can already solve it using any method. Sir, pero pag positive po yung dinivide, hindi po magbabago yung inequality. Yes, Krem. Pag positive yung dinivide mo, wala namang magbabago sa mga sign nila. So, same pa rin yung ating inequality symbol. Nangyayari lang ito, yung pagbabago ng inequality symbol natin pag dinivide mo siya sa negative number. Yan, let's continue. Critical points. Ayan, nagawa ko na siyang equality. So, kung mapapansin nyo, ayan, ginawa ko na siyang quadratic equation. X squared minus 9x plus 18 is equal to 0 already. Now, you can either use quadratic formula or factoring to solve this one. For this given problem, gamit muna ako ng factoring. So, the factors of x squared minus 9x plus 18 is equal to 0. Anyway, let's see. So, this one will become x minus 3 times x minus 6. Yan ang factors nitong quadratic trinomial na ito. So, as you can see, ang may product na positive 18 at may sum na negative 9 will be negative 3 and negative 6. Ayan. So, after that, you can equate both of them by 0 or to 0 using the zero product property. Therefore, we can have, yan, pwede mo naman lipat, diba? Negative magiging positive, negative magiging positive. Therefore, we get x is equal to 3 and also x is equal to 6. Yan, you can also use addition property of equality. You'll have the same answer. So, ano ibig sabihin ng 3 and 6 na yan? That will be your critical points. Once you have your critical points, you can also create your number line already. So, when it comes to solving, okay na sa akin na ganito lang yung gagawin yung number line. Ang makikita mo lang is yung critical points. Anyway, sa number line naman, gusto ko lang din ma-imagine na ninyo kung ano yung mga values less than 3, ano yung mga values between 3 and 6, at ano yung mga values that is greater than 6. At least, meron na kayong idea from our previous lesson wherein you can already imagine what a number line is. So, therefore, pwede na ako magganito na mag-shortcut ka na lang na critical points na lang na tulad ni 3 at ni 6 na lang yung ilalagay natin. Para kahit papaano, alam mo na kung ano yung mga nasa gitna, ano yung mga less than 3 at yung greater than 3. Anyway, as we may continue, in solving this one using a number line, we first represent different values of x based on the given region. So, yung mga values nga na less than 3 can be x is equal to 0. The numbers between 3 and 6, pwede ka mag-represent ng number dyan such as, yan, nasa gitna naman yan si 4, pwede ring 5. Yan, kayo bahala. Yan, kung ako sa inyo, wag na kayong mag ano ng mga fraction or ano, 'di ba? Mahirap mag-substitute ng fraction. And last, a number that is greater than 6 could be positive 7. So for us to identify ano yung magiging part ng solution natin, pwede tayo mag-substitute. So gamitin natin once again yung ating given quadratic inequality x squared minus 9x plus 18 is it gonna be less than or equal to 0. So to check, as you can see here, this equation or this given substitution or this value x is equal to 0 will make our inequality false. Bakit? Kasi if sinubstitute mo dyan, for example, 0 squared, then 9 times 0, all of them will just be equal to 0. So this part will just be equal to 0, kaya siya 0 plus 18. As you can see here, 18 is not less than or equal to 0. Therefore, kapag 0 ang ginamit mo na value, false yung lalabas. Ibig sabihin, yung region that is less than 3 cannot be a part of our solution. Now, punta naman tayo dito. Yan, pakita ko na siya para i-represent na lang natin sila isa-isa. Ayan, so as you can see here, kapag 4 ang ginamit natin, yan, sinubstitute natin siya. So, makikita nyo dito, 4 squared kasi galing siya ng x squared. Then, 9 times x magiging 9 times 4. Then, yung 18, kinopya lang. Now, so 4 squared is gonna be equal to 16. 9 times 4 is gonna be equal to 36. And then, kopyahin mo lang yung 18. Yan. So, subtract natin. 16 minus 36 is gonna be equal to 20. And 16 minus 36 is gonna be equal to negative 20. And if we subtract negative 20 plus 18, it's gonna be equal to negative 2, which is obviously less than 0. Therefore, if the value of x is equal to 4, it will be equal, it will be, or it will satisfy our given inequality. So it's true. Pagdating naman kay 7, if we do the same process, you will end up having 4, which is not less than 0. Therefore, in this case, it will now become false. So ano lang yung naging true? Yung range lang natin from 3 to 6. Ibig sabihin, yan lang yung magiging sagot natin. So if we may continue, we can now have our final answer. We can interpret this range 3 to 6 as ito. The region where the inequality satisfies will be in the interval 3 to 6 or the values from 3 to 6. Yan. Sir Valera, ano ibig sabihin ng 3 to 6 na yan or yung region na yan? So, based on our problem, how long is the object at or above this height? So, actually, ang final answer natin dito should be the object is at or above 288 feet from 3 to 6 seconds. So, ilang segundo yan? 4, 5, 6. 3 seconds siya na nandun sa taas. So, para mas maintindihan natin kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng 3 to 6 seconds na yan, ito siya. Ayan. So, balik tayo dun sa diagram kanina. Ayan siya. So, dito sa 3 seconds, ayan nga, nandun siya sa 288 feet. So, bago siya bumaba, hindi siya tatagal ng more than 6 seconds bago siya maging above or at 288 feet. So, ang nakalagay dito, ayan nga, nakalagay na sa final answer pala. The object is at or above 288 feet from 3 to 6 seconds after its release. So, the object is above 288 feet for 3 seconds. Let's proceed with our second problem or problem number 2. In this case, hindi naman siya related sa physics. Ito naman related sa business. Ayan, the profit P of a certain barber shop is modeled by the function P of x is equal to negative 50x squared plus 3,500x minus 3,000, where x is the average cost that a customer is charged. Ayan, what range of cost will bring a profit of at least 47,000? So, yung x dito is yung cost kung magkano yung sinisingil sa isang customer. So, dito, pwede rin natin siyang i-interpret as for the number of customers na pwedeng pumasok kasi, 'di ba, ang X dito is average cost. So, kada customer merong cost na natatanggap. Now, the question is kung magkano yung cost na yun, depende dun sa barber shop. Kaya kung tatanungin niyo ako, sir, meron ba talagang ganyan na kino-compute kung magkano yung kita ng isang barber shop depending on a given quadratic equation? Yes, this is possible. Kasi ah, dito natin malalaman kung magkano yung cost ng isisingil natin sa mga customers natin na makikita pa rin tayo. And on this given problem nga, ang gusto niya maging profit is at least 47,000. Kaya sa problem na to, ang tanong, what range of cost will bring the profit of at least 47,000? So, magkano daw yung kailangan na singilin sa customer para magkaroon ka ng at least 47,000 na kita. Ayan. So for our representation, ayan, X can be the customer or the average cost for the customer and Y will be your profit or magkano ba yung kikitain no ating ah, ating business, which is in this case barber shop. Yan. So once again class, if you're not familiar with this one, this will be our next chapter. That's gonna be quadratic function wherein gumagamit tayo ng mga ganito. But para hindi kayo mahirapan, pwede naman siyang i-represent as one variable. For example, this one, y. Pwede mo naman siyang ilagay lang as y para hindi siya nakakalito. So for our diagram, yan, based on our problem, our given is y is equal to negative 50x squared plus 3,500x minus 3,000. That will be our working mathematical equation for how much will the barber shop earn on a certain average cost of a customer. So if x is equal to 1, for example, average cost is for one customer, yan is a variable x, yan, magkano yung kikitain niya? Or kunyari, ang cost niya is 1 lang, 1 peso siguro, magkano yung kikitain niya? So, ganun yan. Kasi X represents the average cost. Magkano ba yung sisingilin mo sa isang customer? Ayan. So, next, how do we interpret the profit that is at least 47,000? Class, paano nga ulit natin i-interpret yung at least? Is it gonna be less than or equal to 47,000 or greater than or equal to 47,000? Pag tinagalog kasi natin yung salitang profit is at least 47,000, dapat daw ang pinakamaliit na kita ay 47,000. So, ang tanong, pwede pa bang mas mataas sa 47,000? Pwedeng-pwede, 'di ba? Kasi at least 47,000 yung kita eh. So how do we interpret yung pwede pang mas mataas yung profit sa 47,000? That's gonna be, based on the problem, it should be greater than or equal to 47,000. Ito yung pasok. Since y is represented by the profit, we can say that y should be greater than or equal to 47,000. Let's proceed with our quadratic inequality. Yan. This is given on our problem. P of x is equal to negative 50x squared plus 3,500x minus 3,000. Ito siya. Ayan. Ginawa ko lang y yung P of x para hindi nakakalito. At the same time, we also interpreted this one. The profit should be at least 47,000 pesos. So we can say that y should be greater than or equal to 47,000. Now, katulad ng ginawa natin kanina, pwede nating palitan itong y na to nung ating given sa ating problem, which is negative 50x squared plus 3,500x minus 3,000. Kaya siya naging ganito. Gets po ba? Once again, this is represented by y. So, after that, let's somehow simplify or arrange natin yung ating quadratic inequality para maging zero yung nasa kanan so that we can subtract 47,000 on both sides. We can now have this one will now be equal to 0. Therefore, we'll now have negative 50x squared plus, and this one will be equal to 0. We have negative 50x squared plus 3,500 x minus 50,000 kasi, ayan, negative 300, negative 3,000 minus 47,000 will be equal to negative 50,000 greater than or equal to 0. So once again, malaki ulit yung mga coefficients natin. Now to simplify, we can get the GCF of 50, 3,500, and 50,000. Ano sa tingin nyo yung GCF nila? Yan. May parang may clue eh, no? Yung clue parang itong nasa umpisa eh. Kasi ang goal natin maging 1 yan eh. Ang technique parang ganun eh. Anyway, if we use the continuous division as a process in getting the GCF, you will end up having once again 50 as our ayan, as 50 as our GCF. Ayan, as you can see here. O, di ba? Pag dinivide siya sa 10, magiging 5, 350, and 5,000 yung nasa taas. Pag dinivide siya sa 5, magiging 170 and 1,000. And that is the time you will end your continuous division kasi ang GCF nila ay ang common factor nila ay 1 na lang. So if you multiply the numbers here, 10 times 5, that is where you will get 50 as your GCF. That means we can divide all of them by 50. And since you want this one to be positive, you will divide all of them by a negative 50. So if you divide them by negative 50, you will end up having this given quadratic inequality. X squared minus 70x plus 1,000 is less than or equal to 0. Class, once again, huwag kalimutan na kapag ka nag-divide ka ng negative number, magbabago yung inequality natin from greater than or equal, it will now become less than or equal. Gets po? Okay, now, tatanungin ko kayo kasi ang next step natin dito is actually getting the critical points. As you can see, from less than or equal, ginawa na natin siyang equal. Then, gamit tayo ng quadratic formula. First, let's identify the values of A, B, and C. So, A will be equal to 1, B will be equal to negative 70, and C will be equal to 1,000. Now, in this case, using the quadratic formula, negative B plus minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A, we can substitute. Ayan, kung mapapansin ninyo, negative 70 na siya. Ito, negative 70. Yan, may negative pa rin syempre sa labas. Then, negative 70 squared kasi B squared siya dapat. Then, 4 times A times C. So, we have 4 times 1 times 1,000. All over 2 times 1 because our A is 1. So, having this, we can now simplify. First, negative of negative 70 will become positive 70. If we square negative 70, we have negative 70 times negative 70, that's gonna be 4,900. Then if we multiply negative 4 times 1,000, that's gonna be negative 4,000. And then 2 times 1, obviously, it's gonna be equal to 2. Yan. So, na-simplify nyo na siya ng ganito. We can now just subtract 4,900 minus 4,000, which is equivalent to 900. Now, we have 70 plus minus the square root of 900. Anong square root ng 900? Ano yung number? Pag in-square natin, 900 ang sagot. It's gonna be equal to, gonna be 30. So, we will now have 70 plus minus 30 all over 2. So, in this case, pwede natin siyang paghiwalayin kasi maayos na itsura niya. Yung isa ay 70 plus 30 all over 2. Yung isa ay 70 minus 30 naman all over 2. So 70 plus 30 is 100 divided by 2. So x will be 50. On the other hand, we have 70 minus 30 all over 2. Is it gonna be, 70 plus minus 30 is gonna be equal to 40 divided by 2. It's gonna be equal to 20. Therefore, ang ating critical points ay 20 at 50. Nuna ko lang yung 20 kasi mas mababa siya. Gets po? Ayan. So, ganyan naman. Pwede rin naman gumamit ng factoring dito. Actually, pakita ko sa inyo mamaya kapag ka-factoring yung ginamit. The same answer pa rin yung lalabas. Now, when it comes to the number line, we can have x squared minus 70x plus 1,000. Let's go back to the quadratic inequality. Yan, less than or equal to 0. So, number line natin, lagay muna natin sa unahan si 20, then si 50. Then, solid circle or closed circle yung gagamitin natin kasi nga may equal sign dito sa ating inequality. Now, divide natin sila sa tatlong region. And dun sa tatlong region, una, identify natin one of the numbers that is less than 20 could be 0. So, pwede natin substitute dyan si 0. Dito sa gitna, 30. Dun sa kabila, greater than 50, we could have 60. So, kung pansin nyo, multiples of 10 na yung ginamit natin. And as you can see here, if we try to substitute it, you will identify na ang magiging sagot lang ay yung nasa gitna. Tingnan natin kung bakit. Dito magiging 0 lang naman kasi lahat eh, di ba? So matitira na lang dyan actually is itong 1,000, which is 1,000 is not less than or equal to 0. It's actually greater than 0. So dito naman kapag ka 30 siya, magiging x squared. 30 squared siya, then dito 70 times x, kaya 70 times x, kaya siya 70 times 30, then copy 1,000. Dito 30 squared is gonna be 900. 70 times 30 is gonna be equal to 2,100. Then copy 1,000. So we have 900 minus 2,100. Kaya siya magiging negative 1,200. Then negative 1,200 plus 1,000 is gonna be negative 200. Obviously, negative 200 is a negative number that is less than 0 or pasok siya dun sa range na less than or equal to 0. Pag naman 60 ang ginamit natin, 60 squared is gonna be 3,600. 70 times 60 is gonna be 4,200. And then 1,000 dito. So negative 3,600 minus 4,200 is gonna be equal to negative 600. Pag in-add natin yan sa 1,000, positive 400 lalabas. Which is obviously not less than or equal to 0. So this one is false. Anong kaparehas na to kanina sa unang problem natin? Gitna lang din yung naging tamang sagot. Tama ba? Yung range sa gitna rin yung lumabas. So, the answer will be from 20 to 50. So, sa final answer natin, that will include the region where the inequality satisfies will be in the interval 20 to 50. That means to earn a profit of at least 47,000 pesos, the barbershop needs at least 20 to at most 50 average cost for the customer. So 20 pesos up to 50 pesos. If you will be using if you will be using if you will be using factoring for this part, ito yung possible na solution niya. Ayan, kung factoring yung gagamitin niyo, ito lang siya. You can also take a screenshot of this one. Wait lang, pakita ko yung final answer. Ayan. So as you can see here, hindi medyo, mas maigsi siya. X minus 50 tsaka x minus 20 yung factors kasi ni 1,000, ay ni x squared minus 70x plus 1,000 is equal to 0. Anyway, let's proceed with our last given problem. We have here Vanessa has 1,800, 180 feet of fencing that she intends to use to build a rectangular play area for her dog. She wants the play area to enclose at least 1,800 square feet. What are the possible widths of the play area? So, syempre, kung may length dyan, may width. Although, ang hinahanap lang is widths. Bakit? Kasi kapag nalaman mo naman na yung width, masosolve naman natin yung length based on our previous problem solving lessons, 'di ba? Once na meron kang value ng width, masosolve mo naman na yung value ng length. So, ang tinatanong lang sa problem na to, ano daw yung mga possible width? That will have an area that is at least 1,800 feet or square feet. So, una, ito muna yung interpret ko. Gawa muna tayo ng mga variables sa representation natin. L yung gawin nating length, then W yung width, tas letter A naman or variable naman yung A na gagamitin natin sa area. So first, we interpret the term 180 feet of fencing. That means we will be having the length of 180 feet of fencing material. So, in Tagalog, fence is bakuran, di ba? So, parang gagawa siya ng parang play area na ang bakuran niya will have 180 feet of fencing material. So, nilayout niya yung haba nito, 180 feet. So, ano ba yung sense ng 180 feet na yan? Actually, that represents our perimeter. Yes, that will be our perimeter. Now, based on our previous lesson, when we talk about perimeter, we are talking about the same formula, 2L plus 2W, or twice the length plus twice the width. That's the formula of our uh, perimeter. Yeah. So, we can also write this one as 180 is equal to 2L plus 2W dahil nga ang perimeter natin ay 180 feet. So we can replace this P into 180, therefore we'll be having 180 is equal to 2L plus 2W. So remember class, ang kinukuha natin ditong value ay width lang. So we can represent the length in terms of our width. So what we can do first is we can divide the entire equation to 2, making our equation 90 is equal to L plus W. Hindi na to bago kasi parang ginagawa natin to dun sa isa sa mga example natin ng problem solving before. Yan, so we divide 180 divided by 2, that's why it becomes 90, and then 2L divided by 2, it's gonna be equal to L na lang. Then dito, 2 divided by 2 or 2W divided by 2 will just be equal to W. And once again, ang kailangan natin na value ay width. So lipat ko tong width sa kabila. Ayan, oh. So from positive W, it will now become negative W. So 90 minus W is the value of length. Ayusin lang natin yung itsura. We can represent the length in terms of width by 90 minus W. Magagamit natin siya mamaya. Kaya ako ginawa yan. Kasi yan yung naging clue, 180 feet of fencing materials. Another thing that you should have noticed on this given problem is that the area should be enclosed at least 180 square feet. That means we can interpret the area is at least 1,800, not 180 1,800 feet squared. So how do we interpret this one? Once again, gumagamit tayo ng salitang at least. So pag sinabing at least, ang ginagamit natin dyan ay greater than or equal. So that means our area should be greater than or equal to 1,800 feet squared. At the same time, based on our previous problem solving examples, we also use the area, the formula of the area which is length times width. So, bakit ba natin nilabas tong formula na to? Kasi mamaya nga, ang isosolve lang natin ay width. So, we can represent the area of the given rectangular play area of the dog as length times width, which is can be equal to 90 minus W times W, wherein 90 minus W is represented by the value of the length. So in that case, if we simplify this one, distribute natin, W times 90, W times negative W, this will become area is equal to 90W minus W squared. Ayusin lang natin yung itsura niya. Ilagay natin sa unahan yung negative W squared. Therefore, our area can be represented as for the formula, area is equal to negative W squared plus 90W. So, nilayout lang natin 'to based dun sa ating problem. Kasi mamaya, una, kailangan natin ng equation kung saan natin ibabase yung area. Kasi nga, ito na yung ating quadratic, ay ito na yung ating inequality. Area should be greater than or equal to 1,800 feet squared. So, unlike the first two problems, dito, medyo meron kang extra na gagawin para mas makuha mo yung equation. Kanina kasi dun sa unang dalawang problem natin, binigay na yung mathematical equation natin eh, yung pinaka-quadratic trinomial or quadratic equation dun sa ating problem. Dito kasi, kailangan mo pa siyang i-construct. Anyway, kapag ito yung napunta sa inyo, ang kagandahan naman dyan, yung diagram, mas madali. Kailangan mo lang i-represent yun, yung scenario na meron kang rectangular play area para dun sa aso and yun ay may length at may width. Ayan, okay na yan sa ganyan kasi yun naman yung nire-represent ng problem. Mas madali yung diagram para dito. Yan, gets po? Okay, so for us to identify the quadratic inequality, ang mga gagamitin natin ay first yung area na nagawa natin kanina. It can be represented by negative w squared plus 90w. Ito nga. Yan yung nakuha natin kanina by substituting the formula of an area at the same time yung value ng length in terms of our width. At the same time, based on the problem, it says that the area should be at least 1,800 square feet. Therefore, A should be greater than or equal to 1,800. So the same process as before, since A is equal to negative w squared plus 90w, I can write this one as negative w squared plus 90w is greater than or equal to 1,800. Gets po? Ayan. So this represents our area. Ayan. So, kung tingin nyo mas komplikado tong problem na to, hindi kaya. Kasi pagdating nyo sa quadratic inequality, mas madali eh. Once again, subtract natin or add tayo ng negative 1,800 on both sides. So, this one will become 0. Therefore, this will now be your quadratic inequality. Negative w squared plus 90w minus 1,800 is greater than or equal to 0. Yan, sabi ko nga sa inyo dito, mas madali. Bakit? Kasi hindi mo na kailangan ng GCF kasi 1 naman yung katabi ng W squared, di ba? Or negative 1. So, ang pwede mo na lang gawin dito, i-divide sila lahat kay negative 1 para maging positive lang yung W squared. Wala lang. Gusto mo lang siya maayos na ganun yung itsura kasi sanay ka na positive palagi yung nasa tabi ng ating quadratic term. So, kapag ka-divide mo yan sa negative 1, that negative w squared will become positive na, negative 90w will become negative na, and negative 1,800 will become positive 1,800. And don't forget na kapag nag-divide ka ng negative, yung ating inequality from greater than or equal will become less than or equal to 0. So, for us to get the critical points, first, kailangan mo munang gawin yung ating inequality into a quadratic equation. So, we have w squared minus 90w plus 1,800. After that, we can identify the values of a, b, and c. In this case, ang a natin ay 1. Ito nga, 1. Ang b natin ay negative 90 at ang c natin ay 1,800. Now, in this case, we can just apply it or apply the quadratic formula. Negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Yan. So, substitute natin. Negative b. So, we have negative of negative 90. Then, negative, ayan, b squared. So, b squared, kaya siya naging negative 90 squared. Minus 4ac. So, kopyahin mo lang yung 4. And then, a at c natin will be, a ay 1. Ang c natin ay 1,800. So, we have minus 4 times 1 times 1,800 all over 2a. Therefore, we have 2 times 1. So, simplify natin to. Yan. Ang negative ng negative 90 is gonna be positive 90. And then, pag in-square mo yung negative 90 times negative 90 is 8,100. And then, if we multiply negative 4 times 1 times 1,800, it will become negative 7,200. 4 times 1 times 1, 8 lang yan. Then sa baba, 2 times 1, obviously is equal to 2. So we can just subtract 8,100 minus 7,200. That's gonna be equal to 900. Yan. And then, may square root yung 900 na yan. Ang square root niyan ay 30. So you have 90 plus minus 30 all over 2. So hatiin lang natin sila sa dalawa. Yung isa, that is where you will write 90 plus 30 all over 2. And then yung isa, that is where you will be having 90 minus 30 all over 2. In this case, 90, dito muna tayo, 90 plus 30 is 120 divided by 2 is gonna be equal to 60. So, ang isang value ng width natin ay 60 at ang isa naman ay 90 minus 30 is gonna be equal to 60 divided by 2, you will get equal to 30. Ibig sabihin, ang ating critical points ay 30 and 60. So, if you want to create a number line, yan, using this quadratic inequality, you can just write 30 and 60. And yan, less than 30, we could have 0. Between 30 and 60, pwede dyan 50. At doon naman sa greater than 60, we could have 70. Now, as you can see, mamaya, pag nag-solve naman kayo on your own, ito pwede nyo naman gawin. Pero expect nyo na, lalo na kapag ka less than lang din naman yan. Di ko alam kung napansin nyo na rin to nung nag-solve kayo ng quadratic inequality. Kapag less than or equal yung lumalabas, ang usual na sagot is yung nasa gitna. Yan. So, check nyo na yung mga sinagutan nyo sa quadratic inequality or solving quadratic inequality. Pag less than to, palaging nasa gitna. Pero, pag yung nandito ay greater than or equal, o greater than, ito yung sagot palagi nasa gilid. Yan yung shortcut na binabanggit ko. Yan, hindi ko yan sinabi sa inyo, syempre, para kayo yung makadiscover on your own. Pero once again, since gitna na naman yung lumabas dito na value, that will serve as our final answer. So 30 to 60, that means the region where the inequality satisfy will be in the interval 30 to 60. Therefore, our final answer will be to enclose an area of at at least 1,800 feet squared of play area. The possible width measurements are at least 30 feet to at most 60 feet. I hope you understand the lesson for today. Until next time, bye!